What is up, everyone? I am Deviant Cringe, and today I wanted to talk about the new crossover that Nickelodeon is planning and really hyping up between Fairly OddParents and the new show Bunsen is a Beast, and why I think it won't be that spectacular.
There's a fairy named Cosmo and a beast named Bunsen, so amazingly different, like apples and onions.
Now, first off, Fairly OddParents already went to shit on the last few seasons, especially with the addition of the character Chloe and all that, blah blah blah. You know, like I said in one of my previous videos, better to end it off while it's still good before instead of milking it for all it's worth. I think a lot of people agree with me on that one. And now for Bunsen is a Beast. Well, Bunsen is a Beast is actually a fairly new cartoon. It came out in February, and a lot of people don't know why the hell Nickelodeon wanted to do a crossover episode between Fairly OddParents, a long-running show with a cartoon such as Bunsen is a Beast, which is like really new. And I honestly think they did that just because of, you know, marketing purposes. Yeah. And now I'm gonna tell you the two reasons as to why I think this is gonna be a huge, if not a huge, then a little bit of a mediocre flop. Nickelodeon, they have not done a crossover episode with any cartoon in over a decade. The last one was called the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour with Jimmy Neutron and the Fairly OddParents, which was pretty cool, I gotta say. Really nostalgic. I highly recommend you watch it. And that's the last one in over a decade, so they have such a huge opportunity to hype this up, you know, like, oh my god, we haven't done a crossover episode in over a decade, this is gonna be super special, this is gonna be the first in such a long time, and blah blah blah. And I honestly think it's all for marketing, because Bunsen is of course a really new show. And the second reason, which really goes hand in hand with the first one, is the fact that Nickelodeon really doesn't have any respect for the viewing audience. Like, you know, there are a lot of people that have watched the channel for like 10 years or so, people who still remember the crossover, like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour and all that stuff. They have been waiting for a good crossover episode, and this is basically how they're gonna be doing it, you know. Instead of doing something super awesome and amazing and all that stuff, they're basically just gonna turn it into an advertisement, you know. So I really don't think there's gonna be much that's gonna be happening in the episode. It's just gonna be, hey, you know, this is a new cartoon, and like, go watch it and all that stuff, because it's crossing over with a long-running show, so it must be good. And this is really true, especially when you take a look at the stories of, you know, like previous creators that have worked with Nickelodeon. They basically said how the network every single year has become more and more corporate and all that stuff. They only care about money, which is to be expected, since, you know, they are a company, and the only purpose of a company is to make more money. I don't know. It may actually be an okay crossover episode, but I really don't think it's gonna be anything special. Like I said, the Fairly OddParents really has been going really downhill in the later seasons. And the Bunsen is a Beast. Well, like, when I first saw the trailer for the cartoon, I know that you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but, you know, like, when you actually have experience with, like, something, you know, like, oh, you either watch a lot of movies, watch a lot of cartoons, play a lot of games, you know, you tend to develop this skill to sniff out how something is gonna be. And when I first saw the trailer for Bunsen is a Beast, I was basically like, hey, this is just gonna be another one of those random, bland, watered-down comedies where loud and random supposedly equals funny and all that shit, and the characters really don't seem like they had much effort or care put into them. They're basically just, hey, we made up these little characters and put them in wacky situations. Hey, you're supposed to laugh and give us good ratings, you sons of bitches. Well, not really, Nickelodeon, not really. You're supposed to put care and effort into your shows, not make them like fucking Teen Titans Go or something. I'm not saying that Bunsen is gonna be exactly like Teen Titans Go or any of those other shits, but it may actually be a good cartoon, but I do have to say, it really does seem like the characters are just way too loud and annoying and all that stuff. Basically, it's one of those shows where everything moves at 100 miles an hour and there's not a moment of silence, you know. It's basically like the polar opposite of the Loud House, you know. Well, the Loud House is actually nostalgic, you know, nice and enjoyable. This looks like it's gonna be like basically like a Meth Addicts cartoon or something. I don't know. Although I may be totally wrong. Like, I'm just giving my opinion here, and the crossover may either be good, it may either be mediocre, or it may just be shitty. It's like, I particularly am pretty pissed because, you know, Nickelodeon, they haven't done a crossover in over a decade, like he said, and they have a huge opportunity to do something special for their both the new viewers and longtime fans, and they're just, you know, doing this to push a new cartoon, and it really doesn't seem like it's gonna be all that creative. It's just it's just a simple comedy. It's kinda... What I've also noticed is that some people have been saying that Bunsen is a Beast is using sound effects that were also used in like Danny Phantom or the Fairly OddParents. Now, I personally wasn't a really huge viewer of Danny Phantom, but I can see some similarities within the Fairly OddParents and stuff. Especially with how, you know, like how wacky the characters are, like they're so sporadic and all that. It's like if you take the fairies from Fairly OddParents and you crank them all the way up to 11 to make them like super loud and annoying and all that stuff. Bunsen is a Beast really does seem like it's gonna be one of those really quick burnout, you know, forgettable shows that aren't gonna have a lot of time and effort put into them. You know, they're basically just there to be a comic relief. Now, of course, I could be totally wrong on this. You know, the crossover may actually be okay, and they may actually do a good job, but I really don't have high hopes for it because, you know, this whole they haven't done a crossover episode in like over a decade, and instead of saving it for like a special occasion, they're just gonna use it to advertise another show. So pretty much bad decision after bad decision. You guys and gals, give me your opinion on this. I'd like to hear what you all think about this. And anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and as always, I am Demon Cringe, and I'll be seeing you guys and gals in the next video.